It strikes me that one of the tragedies in the United States today is the lack of alternative vision. I think in many areas of governmental life, there's a certain depression in that there is an understanding that something has to happen, that something is fundamentally wrong with the society that we're living in today, but somehow or another the new ideas are not coming forward and new energies are not coming forward. What we're here tonight to talk about is a new vision, admittedly on a small scale, but those of us who work for the city of Burlington think everything starts here and goes outward. But what we're talking about here is a new vision about the relationship of people to the work that they do. Now, the fact of the matter is that many of us work 40 hours a week, or 50 hours a week, or 60 hours a week, all over the United States of America. And we've become used to the way we relate to our employers. We understand and we accept it as a basic reality that we go to work for somebody else, that somebody else decides the kind of product that will be produced, how it will be produced, where it will be produced, and when it will be produced, and that somebody else has the right to say that, gee whiz, we can't make money in this town anymore, and we're going to leave and go to the Dominican Republic where we can get workers for $2 or $3 a day. Why do we have to pay all of $4 an hour when we can get cheaper labor abroad? I, the owner, will make that decision, and you, the worker, and you, the community that used to house this company or this factory or this office complex, tough luck. It's mine. I own it. I will do as I please. And it seems to me that not only is this bad economics, but it's very bad for the fiber and the soul of the nation. Because what it does to people is it makes all of us very childlike, very infantile, very dependent on the big daddy who has the money and can call the shots. Yes, sir. No, sir. And I think what this country is hungering for is opportunities for people to feel more part of the process, to feel an ability to say, I make decisions. Little symptomatic, little example of how this works. In the city of Burlington, as some of you may know, if you drive our streets, we have planted 2,000 trees. And I think that's great. I think it's made the city a lot more beautiful city than it was before. But you know what's most important about that project? It wasn't city government that did it. Primarily, the people who planted those trees were the people who live on those blocks. And what we've noticed is there's been an extraordinary response. People take a great deal of pride in the fact that they planted that tree. And they're going to nurture that tree, and they watch that tree against vandalism. They have put some of themselves into that process. And it seems to me that probably one of the most important changes that we can bring about in the United States of America today is give people more of an opportunity to help make the decisions that affect their lives. Frankly, democracy cannot just mean the opportunity to vote for a Walter Mondale or a Ronald Reagan once every 4 years. That's better than they have in other countries, but it's not enough. I think if we have a vision as to what democracy is about, it's got to mean the right of a working person to control his or her job, to have some say about what's being produced, to sit down with the other workers and say, this is what I think we should do. And that's the way people grow, and they learn, and they don't become atomized, and they don't become alienated dummies who are there solely to make a check at the end of the week. Well, needless to say, I don't think this revolution is going to happen overnight. But I do think it's important that in Burlington, Vermont, and in cities and towns all over this country, workers and people who are interested in true democracy begin talking about these ideas. Because I think the sentiment is out there. I think people are not happy about a society where we're seeing greater and greater concentration of power and wealth. You read it in the papers every day. This gigantic corporation has just bought out that gigantic corporation. And this interlocking directorship not only owns this company, but it owns that company. It all comes down to a pyramid. We have a handful of people with the wealth and with the power. And I think what many of us would like to see is turning that pyramid on its head. and giving power back to the people. I congratulate very sincerely the organizers of this event tonight, and I think and I hope very much that maybe here in Burlington, Vermont, and I think, as I understand, we are unique in being the only city in America that is sponsoring activities like this and processes like this, that maybe in Burlington, Vermont, we will strike a little bit of a spark that might spread around the country. Thank you.